Hello YouTube, hello there, I hope you're doing fine. In today's video, I want to talk about my triathlon challenge. It's gonna be quite raw and fast, and we're gonna talk about how I felt with this short prep that I had. So on social media, we're quite flooded with people doing an Ironman and doing like intense long trainings between 9 and 12 months. Here, I only had 1 month to train for a medium format, Olympic format for triathlon. Nothing too extra, but still an interesting challenge to do as your first triathlon race. And I want to share with you how I felt. It's following up my human flag challenge. Life brought me circumstances that made me late on the editing of this video. Sorry, it's gonna come pretty soon, no problem. And after going on some vacations, here where I could start the training. And I want to talk about 3 main phases that I felt in this 1 month of training for you if you want to start your own triathlon journey maybe and not start by this quite overwhelming, intense Ironman, but go on smaller steps. So the first thing I felt when training for this triathlon in such a short time period was that this sport is a logistic battle. You have 3 sports, so 3 more time struggles to have all of the required equipment, organize yourself, and being able to tackle and train each and every sport. Especially the bike sport, cycling requires so much equipment that I didn't have. Here you can see, here's the first bike of my life that I bought, like the first road bike, first proper bike. And you need to learn a lot of things, how to repair it, how to tune it, how to grease it, how to like remove the wheels to go on the train, etc, etc. So a lot of things for the sport. Swimming also has quite some logistics. It's quite crowded when you train in Paris. Certain time slots are non-doable, and you learn like just changing yourself, etc, etc. It's really different than running or me doing calisthenics, where I could basically train wherever I want with almost no equipment. So that's the first thing that was in this logistic battle. Also, like making sure I was getting all of the equipment on time. So this model of the bike, I had to go to another city to find it, 2 hours away from Paris, finding the correct size, understanding how each sports needs, basically. I didn't know I needed like a swimsuit, things like this, so you learn a lot. The second part that was quite interesting is like structuring the training, because each sport has its own logic. So I had to learn how to train for swimming. It's quite frustrating at first, but then really enjoyable with all this technique. A lot of time was spent to improve my technique, and a fewer time was spent in like training zones, in more intense work, because basically I can't do freestyle. So I took some freestyle lessons. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it freestyle, so I'm going to do chest strokes. At the end of this video, we're going to talk about what I'm aiming for on this triathlon. But yeah, swimming was quite different. I still had the knowledge from running, where you don't need to always go high, always go to the last mile and be completely exhausted. It's more like this gym spirit, where you need to go to the last rep. Here, when you want to do training technique, for instance, it's better to do it quite wasted. And some of my sessions with my coach were really kind of slow paced. And biking also, it's quite different. The effort management is pretty similar to running, but I would say that you might be more surprised by uphills. And the distance are so much longer that I had to learn all of this, and you might have also some problems on the road. So that's the second thing, how to structure all of this training. I decided basically to do 2 times each sports per week to just condense it as much as I could. So yeah, it was quite intense with 6 trainings, but it was doable. The last thing I want to share with you today is the way I've reassured myself and made sure that I would not fail this triathlon, of course, after gathering all of this knowledge, trying out, asking friends, etc., was to reach milestones. So I've set myself some milestones to achieve during this 1 month to make sure that I would basically fulfill this challenge and this whole race. So I never run more than 1.5 kilometers before. And so I basically decided to do 2 kilometers in one go to make sure I would be able to do all of this. So I did this quite at the beginning of the month of September. Regarding the bike, never biked a long distance. So to make sure I would fulfill 40 kilometers, some friends of mine told me that I should fulfill 100 kilometers. So I did a 100 kilometer session with some friends that taught me a lot of things, really interesting. I learned how to use the specific pedals, so it was perfect. I've done this 2 weeks ago, and in the end I also trained the transition. So I only tried from bike to running. It's been apparently quite known that you have like this wooden legs effect. Fortunately for me, I'm quite used to it since I've been doing CrossFit before, when you have sessions where you're doing sets of deadlifts into running 1 mile or things like this, which are quite popular in some of the classic CrossFit workouts. I didn't have this effect. My body was ready for it. So these were the milestones I've done that really reassured me that I would do it on the whole race, and that my body will be ready with the volume I had and with all of these milestones. So now maybe what some of you would like to know is, what am I aiming for? I'm aiming, of course, to finish it, but I try to estimate with my level a time for each event. So since I can't do freestyle and only chest stroke, I measured 1.5 kilometers in the swimming pool, as I said, when I've done 2 kilometers, and it will take me 40 minutes. That's how much I managed to do. So I'm aiming for that, basically. Maybe I'm slightly faster. I'm gonna have the swimsuit, so I might aim for 38 minutes, but I'm gonna be way slower than most people. I've read that the average is around 30, max to 35 minutes. So I'm gonna be a bit late compared to everyone else, but I'm gonna have the whole sea for me then. Second thing will be about the bike. So the one I'm doing has some uphill, 400 meters uphill, and I don't really know if I'm gonna sustain a really intense pace. So I think that 1 hour and a half is reasonable. I would love to do 1 hour and 15, especially since I can go quite fast with this bike when going downhill, etc. Don't really know. When I did the 100 kilometers session with my friends, we did 25 kilometers per hour pace in average, but we had a lot of breaks. It was a different setting. So maybe I'm gonna be able to be faster, but I don't really know. I don't have much cycling experience. Regarding my 10K on the run, I know I can sustain 5 minutes per kilometer pace. I'm not that fast at running, so that's the pace. It's close to my half marathon pace. So I assume with some fatigue, I'm gonna be slightly slower, maybe. So it's gonna bring me to 50 minutes. And if we do the math correctly, it brings us to 3 hours. When I said this to some friends that have been doing triathlon before, counting with it the transitions, some thinks that the 3 hour mark is a bit too optimistic and a bit too ambitious. My real mark is to do less than 3 hours and a half. I will be really proud if I'm doing this time. Something that seems reasonable to me if I have some logistics problem. I have problem with my bike, or I have some digestion issues, which I had during the marathon, if you've seen my previous video, and things like this. 3 hours and 15 is actually what my real target, what I'm striving for, pushing for. But if I'm feeling good in 2 days, on the race day, I might try to push for 3 hours. So let's see what's gonna happen. If you watch this video, the race is gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna publish it tomorrow. I'm recording it, as you understood, 2 days before. So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Quite raw, quite low editing, sharing with you this experience. In the meantime, I'm preparing my human flag 2-month challenge, if I could get this flag during the summer. I hope you really enjoyed the video. See you next time, and see you there.